Web Weave. I'm Alara.
I'm Alex.
And today we're going to be talking about, it's another Stoneday.
We finally got a good name because we were debating and it was Stoneday, and no, it was Stone Sunday.
It was Stone Sunday.
And it just...
It can be Stoneday and then we'll upload it on Sundays.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, that works. It's less...
Very much so. So today we're actually going to be talking about Chalcedony, and this is the only stone that we're going to be focusing on for this particular video because we have a couple of different versions of Chalcedony that all do different things. So we thought that this would be a really good solo stone to look into.
And it's something we've mentioned before. Well, we've mentioned my pieces because I didn't even know, I forgot she had a piece. So we've shown one of them before, but we're going to actually talk in depth about them today.
You can go ahead and go first.
All right. I'm going to go in order, actually, of pieces I've gotten. So this is another one of those containers. I said I had another one of these in the obsidian video. So this one is pink Chalcedony. And y'all will probably recall that I said I liked teardrops and rounded shapes. It almost looks white, but you can definitely tell right there that it's the deepest pink right here.
Honestly, you really like any shapes, but you particularly like round or sphericals, and then you also like squares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I either like hard edges or soft curves. It's kind of weird a little bit. But, so, we got all three of these pieces actually at Power of the Rainbow.
Yes.
So, another, one of those things that we keep talking about. This piece was not cheap.
No.
I remember, because it was from, not Madagascar, I forget, it was from another country. I forget where this one was from, but he had gotten a good selection, and I happened to, of course, like one of the bigger pieces. I couldn't like a small piece. No, I had to like the big prize money piece that he had, and he was like, yeah, that's not gonna be cheap, and I was like,
But I have to admit, I really like this one.
Mm-hmm.
I like Chalcedony. I just do.
Yeah, so it was just going back again. We're gonna mention this a lot, but I don't get feelings for my rocks. That one I did, actually. When I grabbed it, it was just immediately soothing.
Mm-hmm.
Internally soothing. It just, I don't know, it's kind of like a balm on your inside. On your spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it. And it felt really, really good. And I was like, okay. So it's one of those things where I was like, it's a piece I gotta have. So what pink Chalcedony is good for is anything you relate pink or the heart with, nurturing, caring, empathy. It can help with past traumas.
Mm-hmm.
That one, like we've said in other videos, definitely get additional help for stuff like that. Don't keep that in and hope a rock's gonna fix you.
Right.
But it's like that really soothing kind of, I guess, maternal energy, because it's a stone that they relate a lot to, maternal energies, motherly affection, stuff like that.
Which isn't pink Chalcedony also supposed to strengthen motherly, connection and instincts towards the child?
Yeah, so if anyone out there feels like they should be more maternal, boys, girls, whatever, doesn't really matter, but if you feel like you need that kind of...
Parental?
Yeah, parental, I was gonna say, because I feel like I get a little kind of meh when people are like, oh, this is fatherly energy, this is motherly energy, because not everybody had
I feel like
good
it's just
parents.
a really good nurturing.
Yeah.
A nurturer's rock.
So yeah, not everyone was lucky enough to have good,
right.
good parents, whatever the reason may be. So this is just a very calm, nurturing, soothing stone. I was reading, most sources were saying it was a heart chakra stone. That makes sense from everything you were just saying. One of the places said that it might be good for the root chakra. And this is going to be kind of hard for me to explain.
This was a little bit more iffy for me, but apparently she was able to make the connection.
Yeah, it made sense in my head because it's also really good for strengthening bonds with other people. So I guess if you're rooted in your community...
Okay.
I guess is kind of where I was in my head. It makes sense. It's a little harder for me to verbalize how it made sense.
It just strengthens your core, your roots towards other people.
Yeah, because your roots are your roots, where you plant them, kind of. So I guess it's kind of in that sense. Where did you plant? Are you happy where you planted? Are you uprooted? Are you not part of the community? Are you kind of a loner? Are you going out, meeting people, saying hey to the neighbors, stuff like that. So I think it's like a really good bonding with neighbors, hanging out, seeing folks, walking the dog, talking to people,
Especially
kind of thing.
Considering how often people associate community with a sense of roots.
Mm-hmm.
But I just absolutely love that piece. It's probably one of my favorite pieces that you actually own. But I also love the fact that they did not polish it.
Yeah, it is a rough piece.
Like, it's a matte, M-A-T-T-E, like a matte finish. It's not super smooth, it's not super glossy, but it's very tactily pleasing.
As far as a rough stone, though, it is pretty smooth. Like, it was rounded in just a way where it
reminds me of frosted glass.
That's a good one.
It reminds me of frosted glass, but it's such a pleasant, like, you can play with it in your hands and, like, roll it around, and it's almost like it's just, like it's just gently, like grazing you.
Mm-hmm. And then another little quick thing, I had mentioned the obsidian one time, like, it just knocked me out of my socks almost.
Yeah, or it
I had a moment with this when I grabbed it and I burst into tears.
Oh.
So, these are the two rocks that I've honestly had the most eventful things happen, because normally it's just, oh, it's pleasant, or oh, it's, whatever, but my obsidian, and then this one, it was just, I grabbed it and I was just like, and I was like, well then,
well,
okay.
Apparently you needed to release in order to ground.
Yeah, so, and that might be part of the grounding too. It might kind of, because pink chalcedony also removes negativity, but then disperses it, so it doesn't get attached to anything else.
It's almost like a breaking down of your emotional barriers in order to heal. I have it in my
Okay.
Don't worry, I have it in my lap.
Gotcha. But yeah, so it's pleasant, and then again, it didn't really come up because it's pink, and some people might associate pink with more romance kind of stuff. It doesn't feel very romantic to me. It could, and if you've ever seen a polished piece, you could maybe put that in like a ring or something if that's something that you're into. But it's more of a like a motherly, affectionate, parental kind of, like a higher than you but towards you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I like it. I guess you could also relate it to, like, if you believe in like if your deity is a female deity, especially like a motherly deity, like if you follow
like a mother goddess,
mm-hmm.
or maybe even a love goddess like Aphrodite or Venus.
And she had kids, so yeah.
And she was a mother, so I wonder if maybe that would be kind of that aspect of it's a very, yes, it's very, very loving, but not romantic love, but it's more of a familial love.
That's a good word, familial. Yeah. I like that one. Yep.
So, but yeah, I really love that piece. Yay, I get to hold it. So, the next one is actually, why don't we do this one? Because I like the fact that we're kind of like going up the chakras.
Okay, I can see it.
Which, I am hoping to talk her.
So sorry, I'm still sick.
Shame on you. I am hoping to talk her into doing a chakra video, since that is something that we seem to be talking about very consistently, especially in relation to rocks.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm just a little nervous about it. So this is a blue chalcedony. This is a piece I've shown before, once or twice now, actually. So, again, the teardrop, where it's rounded, but it's still flat. Very, very polished.
It reminds me of cold fog.
Versus, I'm going to see if it will kind of almost translate. Not so much, but you can... This part kind of shows you, like, the roughness of it being pulled out of the ground almost, and this almost looks like a glass. So, blue chalcedony is the throat chakra. Is related to the throat. It's good for speaking your mind, but chalcedony is a very calming energy, so it's probably good if you're not good at speaking your mind, but it's also not going to make you come over aggressively.
Yeah.
Because I think some blue stones, even though blue and greens to me tend to be calmer stones, I feel like if it's too throat chakra-y, you might like get in someone's face about something. Like you're just unleashed because you haven't been able to get it out for so long that you just explode almost.
Which actually, I will say that is the most consistent thing amongst all the chalcedony, even though they all serve different particular purposes. Across all of them, it seems to be a very consistent thing that all of the energy is very gentle. Mm-hmm. It's almost loving. in its gentleness.
And then I was reading today that blue Chalcedony feels like a very calming lake type of energy.
That's very much what I feel when I hold blue Chalcedony.
And I was telling her, I'm like, I've never been to a lake where I felt calm.
And see, that's most of what I did when I was a kid. Like lake swimming.
Oh well, I went to Lake Sioux because I grew up in Cali, and we had. Remember I was telling you about the whole eating lunch and the pop lollipops and whatever. But yeah, I had some moments on that lake where I'm just like, it was a bit much. It was a little traumatizing for like 7-8-year-old me, where I'm just like, that's what I think of, and I don't think of calm times. I think of fun times and scary times, but not like relaxing times. But yeah, to me, it does remind me of water, but maybe a different kind of water. Almost.
Oh, you know whenever you go to a restaurant and they have the outside patio and they have like those giant fans that blow the cold mist?
Mm-hmm.
That's also kind of like how it feels to me.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to like pinpoint what kind of water, because I've been in the ocean and I've had weird moments in the ocean too, so it's not an overly relaxing sensation to me either. It's gonna sound really sad, but I guess pools are the most relaxing water for me. Just moments when you take a second to float, I think.
Okay, I can see that.
I've done that in lakes and in oceans, but like the unknowing of fish or something else under you, I was never a fan. Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help
And
myself.
I went to one of the lakes here, Burger Lake or some. It had a really weird name here in Texas. We went for our middle school graduation or whatever, and I was swimming because I wasn't cool, and I was just swimming laps because whatever. And I'm pretty sure I saw a snake in the water.
Oh yeah.
And the snakes that live out there are water moccasins, so I was like,
that's not a happy snake.
No. So again, like my lake memories, like there's parts of it that are fun, and there's parts of it that was that a deadly snake? I don't know. So. But yeah, maybe like I said, pool or like a pond or just something. Maybe like ducks on a pond water, just like chilling and observing the scenery kind of water.
As long as you don't have to dip your toes in it.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, I do really like my piece because I think the pink one was closer to $40. Yeah, I think the pink one. Right. I think the pink one was 30 or 40. Where this one was 20, so not cheap by any extent, but this one was cheaper.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly call Chalcedony a cheap rock.
Yeah, they did have
not horribly expensive.
Yeah,
but it's still in the mid range.
And then I wonder if different colors mean different prices because, whereas this is a polished piece, he did have rough blue Chalcedony that were $8 to $10.
Oh,
but they were like. Small, like nickel dime size.
Also, keep in mind the more polished it is, or the more.
Versus, well, that's what I'm saying. That one's not polished at all, and that was twice the price. I mean, it's also like a fat piece. Like it's definitely a lot more 3-dimensional than a flat piece. But so I don't know. I don't know if color means something. If like thickness versus size means anything.
I think it would just depend on if there's a rarity for particular colors versus others.
And then location. Like I said, I don't exactly remember where those came from, but
location.
There you go.
But
yeah, I think about that wraps up. So heart, and then so root or heart, and then throat.
And then mine is actually purple Chalcedony. Apparently, it's also called grape Chalcedony. Here, me bring it in. But if y'all can tell, the reason why I ended up getting it is because it actually looks like a little bird.
It looks more like a bird there than in real life, almost.
No, I can see the bird.
No,
even
I can too, but look how sharp his little face looks.
Yeah, the light does.
Yeah, so
does do him
like
justice.
right there, he looks like he's about to tweet. You know, I'm just like, wow.
But actually, my real name, it's often paired with bird, so it's bird, just as a little nickname because I have hiccups that sound like little squeaks. So growing up, that just kind of happened where they would call me whatever bird, something bird, blank bird.
Really.
So I don't know. I've always been very close to birds. Growing up, my grandfather and I would sit out on the back porch and we would watch birds for hours. And even now, I love bird watching. So for whatever reason, there was a whole bowl of purple Chalcedony. They were all pretty good size. But I just happened to look down and he was right there looking back up and it's like, Alex, does that look to you what I see? And she's like, what? Oh, I picked it up. I was like, look, it's a bird. It's a thing, and the bird.
Yeah, she got real excited.
I got very excited. So it just kind of called to me, and I picked it up, and like all Chalcedony, it's very, very nice. It's very nice. But moving on, it ended up coming home with me, and actually with purple Chalcedony, it is connected to the third eye and the crown chakra. So it very much works kind of within connection, but from like the higher standpoint. It's very good at connecting you with your higher vibrations or your higher ideals of the world, your higher attachments to humanity, or the universe as a complete aspect.
Since you mentioned that, we were talking about that earlier, because that is what your crown chakra really is. It's your connection to higher, if that's universe, if that's spiritual, whatever that is for you.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, because pink was good at strengthening bonds through people, that one's strengthening bonds like at a higher level. I wonder if all Chalcedony kind of has that same
like connection of different levels of you.
I wonder, yeah, because if that's like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like if that's your connection to like community, and like this could be like connection to like being able to talk to people.
Yeah.
And that's your connection to spiritually.
This one's almost
part
like
of the cosmos.
Connection to inner self. Connection to inner self. Connection to like outer self. Connection to higher self.
Yeah. So I kind of wonder if there's other Chalcedonies that fit in the other.
I don't know, but it's very interesting.
A whole chakra set of Chalcedony.
But I actually like using him whenever I'm meditating. Like I said before, I'm not very good at meditating. I have a hard time shutting my brain off sometimes. So when I'm not using my prayer beads, sometimes I like to meditate with him. And I do find that it really kind of helps calm my brain. It is like all Chalcedony. It's very soothing. It's very caring in how calm it is. So it's very good at that groundedness, but you can almost feel yourself expanding outward sometimes. But I want to say, my brain just completely went. I was like, no, thoughts, come back.
Wow.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Really?
I don't know. I got nothing. It just completely. It was a little bird and it flew away. Tweet, tweet.
Tweet. You heard it here, folks.
Tweet. But yeah, as a whole, I really do enjoy Chalcedony. It's. I didn't start out thinking that I liked it as much as I did, but it seems like more and more as time goes on, the more I really appreciate the fact that it's very soothing and calming and gentle. Like, I feel like a lot of times we end up going with whatever calls to us most strongly. So it's very interesting to pick up a stone that, I wouldn't say that it's not strong, but it's just so easy with the way that it is. So you pick it up, and most of the time it just doesn't slam into you, or it doesn't rush you. It just kind of seeps into you.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you actually feel for your stones. Like, what did it feel like when you picked up your bird?
It honestly felt like cool air, but it like was just seeping into my skin, down into my bones.
Okay.
And there was just this very gentle rising of calm. Like, normally if I pick up something that's very grounding or very calming, it happens very quickly. Like, I can feel it rushing up to me, and all of a sudden, whew, I'm mellow. This one was almost like I was calming down on my own, but I could feel it. Like, I could actually feel it as a presence, almost.
I feel it.
So.
Another thing that I just thought of with this is, because we're talking about, like, familiar love and all this other stuff, and I think Chalcedony in general has some kind of sympathy, love, sympathetic kind of energies, empathy, stuff like that. Yeah. Another good word for it is, feels like a hug.
It does feel like a hug.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of the other day, because I was just like, I was thinking of, like if you're embracing, like, a family member or a child or a parent or whatever, it's just, like, a very...
But it's the exact opposite of a normal hug, because normally if you hug someone, it's very warm, like, almost heat-wise. But this is almost like you almost have a slight fever or you've been out in the sun for a long time, and then someone very, kind of cool comes and gives you a hug, and you just kind of sink in to that coolness and let it just kind of like ease the feeling of being blistered.
Yeah, maybe like a cool mattress foam.
The cold side of a pillow?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Like, however you want to take it. Like, if you relate, like a sensation of the cool side of the pillow, or like a moment when you, like, visit a family member and they give you a big old... I don't think it's a bear hug, though.
No.
It's definitely like a...
It's almost like your like, little old granny came up. She's old and she's frail and she's not got the strength, but she comes in and she, like... And even though there's not that kind of strength there's the other kind of strength, and you just kind of sink into it.
Something else a little bit, a deep love.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of that's Chalcedony in a nutshell.
Yeah, and then real quick, the other thing I thought was cool was her piece is between polished and rough.
Yeah, so it still has those great big gaps.
And then we had polished and then just a full rough. So I thought that was we kind of had like a full spectrum of textures.
That's actually one of the things I really liked about him is in the lighter places, that's actually like the dirt and dust that hasn't been brushed away from it. If they had actually fully cleaned and brushed this, you would not be able to see the image that is there. And so sometimes I actually really like that they don't completely clean a stone. Mm-hmm. Like it adds a little something to it.
Yeah, like on this one I always thought it looked kind of like spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up because this video wasn't very long. Like we said, it was just one kind of stone that if you happen to catch it somewhere, I recommend everyone have a piece of some kind of Chalcedony, honestly. Like we were saying earlier, like I really like obsidian, but it's definitely not for everyone. I feel like Chalcedony is definitely good for, honestly, everybody. I can't think of any situation where you wouldn't want some type of Chalcedony. Like, you're good with the pink, but I know myself, I'm bad at... My higher chakras, they're not very open or in tune, so if you know that you want to get in touch with your higher self, or your lower self, because sometimes your root is the one that needs the most work, or somewhere in between. But yeah, I feel like there's something for everybody in Chalcedony, and it's just always very just soothing.
There you go.
Alright.
Alright.
Thanks for staying. Thanks for watching again. Thanks for putting up with us forgetting what to say sometimes.
Thanks.
And we'll catch you next time.
Alright, bye.
Toodaloo.